telling, much like of Pixar's, with the exceptional Lilo and Stitch. Films during this time didn't see much box office success and were not widely popular. However, part of this moderate success was a result of movie franchises such as Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings drawing in audiences and detracting from other films being released. Dinosaurs was Disney's first attempt at CGI animation, though it is often overlooked. Dinosaur got Disney interested in CGI animation that has been used in recent years to create immensely popular films for the company. The era was basically a transition period for Disney, while it moved from traditional animation to CGI and from old storytelling to new storytelling.
I know Dinosaur had to be a big hit because it seemed to be popular when it came out. I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's not, and most people don't even like the ride. They think the ride should go. The ride don't follow the story. It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that if people want to see that go, but I'm talking, geez, I'm a big old bear, and that movie brought a tear to my face.
So we got the revival area coming up right next.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do after we get done with that. We're not going to cycle back through because we're missing a whole bunch of other stuff. All right.
Oh, we have hidden treasures.
No, we don't. We have 30 years of Pixar.
Oh, yay.
Almost 30 years. So since they don't really have eras on Pixar's, we'll go like the 90s, the early 2000s, and then into the 2000 teens. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. So let's see. I want to read something else before we get started, because I feel like when we start too early, a lot of people come in after we've already showed the drawings, and we only have 3. Yeah. So
mine, yours, and Christina's.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, of course, we have Disney Channel on cable here.
Yeah.
Did they buy the Muppet Babies from Jim Henson?
They have the rights to the Muppets.
Okay, they have the rights to that. Explains why they're showing it on Disney then.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know Muppets were part of Disney.
Yeah, there's a show down there. It's a Muppet 3D.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there at Hollywood Studios. It's a great, and Disney Plus on the 31st started the Muppet Show all over again, brand new.
Nice.
So I don't think it's called the Muppet Show. I think it's called something else. I haven't got to see it yet, but I've been wanting to watch it. So I think it'll be every Friday they'll put out a new episode. Of course, they'll have seasons.
If you've not been exposed to Disney, like I haven't been until I came along with you guys and watched your stuff, yours, and we do this, and then watch Gonzo and all your other things with Al and whatnots. But it just has really amazed me at how big Disney really is with things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And for them to do such an astounding job on what they do for how much they have.
Right. Well, at one time they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I think that was because Jim Henson were the one who did the movies in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then I think they may have had, I might be wrong, I think they had the rights for just a short period of time for the Power Rangers.
Okay, I can see that. That would have been cool if they would have did Rescue Rangers and Power Rangers together.
All right, so I have a ranking of the movies from the post-Renaissance too.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start with number 10. What do you think it is?
Well, maybe Home on the Range, because it wasn't super popular that I've seen.
It was Home on the Range. Even Roseanne Barr's name didn't even get this really off the ground. All right. So number 9 was, and it's funny, they said that the 1 was the first CGI, but I remember this being CGI. So, but Chicken Little.
I thought that was, of course, I understand they're ranking them from in the 10 from of that era, but Chicken Little seemed to be pretty popular. I know Clayton used to watch it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that people don't go back and watch these movies. I think a lot of these are underrated movies, and like they said, they didn't do so well because of Lords of the Ring and the Harry Potter was doing. So I think there's a lot of underrated movies here.
Harry Potter of that time frame would have probably outnumbered everything.
Yeah. Well, Lords of the Ring.
Imagine if Disney would have You imagine if Disney would have had the rights to Harry Potter. Holy moly.
Well, they did go try to get it. They wanted to put Harry Potter into Disney World. But Universal
that would have been
got
their number one attraction. I guarantee that.
I don't know. With Star Wars?
Harry Potter is hard to beat, but I don't know, man. That's neck and neck. Star Wars is super huge.
I actually heard
fan base worldwide.
I actually heard a guy talk that what's her name, J.K. Rowling's.
Mm-hmm.
She actually rewrote. Harry Potter was just a rewrite of Star Wars with really sucky lightsabers.
Harry Potter versus Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. All right. The next one is Dinosaur. So it didn't do so good. All right. The next one after that, which is one of my favorites, Brother Bear. And Brother Bear, Phil Collins, that was the second movie he did the soundtrack for. And I really like Brother Bear. Hey, Katrina, how you doing? And Christina. I see Christina's in there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that Brother Bear. I was looking at some of the images. I'm like, so I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's I've seen in comparison.
I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember, it was back in the 80s. You might have been too young. But there was a TV show called SCTV.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I was born in 82.
Right. Well, they had Rick Moranis. You know who that is, right?
No.
Rick Moranis. You don't know who Rick Moranis is from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Okay. Well, father? Now I do know who that is.
And Dave Thomas.
I'm bad with those names.
You hear me? And Dave Thomas.
Oh, from Wendy's.
Not that Dave Thomas. Did you ever see the old TV show in the 90s called Grace Under Fire?
Yes, I have seen that before in the past.
The guy that was the pharmacist, that's Dave Thomas.
Okay,
so those two played the McKenzie brothers. All right. And they were and their show was called The Great White North because they were Canadian. And they were always going, hey, you hoser, and everything like that, right? Well, they had a movie called Strange Brew because these two came off. They were the only two characters that were really something from SCTV. Well, and Brother Bear, those two play the exact same characters. They got different names, but they're moose. And they talk back and forth. Yeah, and they're hilarious. Yeah.
You know, my nickname's Moose Jr., and I love Moose, so.
But yeah, so they're like two moose. It's like, so there's like one part where I can't remember where they were going somewhere. And one of them goes, I spy with my little eye something brown. And he goes, tree. Yes, you're right. He says, I spy with my little eye a vertical log tree. it's just over and over. All right. So that was let's see, that's 10, 9, 8. So that was number 7. All right. Number 6 is Bolt, which I thought Bolt was a good.
Yeah, I've seen Bolt.
Right. I thought Bolt was really good. I liked it. It had a good story. I was really surprised there was not any kind of sequel, even if it was straight to like DVD or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or even, I don't even remember if they made a cartoon for it on Disney Channel.
They didn't. Just a movie.
All right. So the next one is Atlantis: The Lost Empire. And this was a really good movie. And they did make a sequel to it. The sequel's not as good as the original, and that's how they kind of were. But I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. It's about Milo who's seeking Atlantis. But I thought it was really good. Now the next one This one I really like, and I like it because one thing is it's the only movie that's been made based on part of a Walt Disney quote, and that's Meet the Robinsons. And
Yes.
it's a really good movie, and I really liked it. And I just think, I think it's very underrated. I do. I thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
That movie is so funny.
Oh yeah. And I just don't I think, like they said, it was the draw for Lords of the Ring and Harry Potter that probably took away from it. But I think the critics nailed it really hard. And what's funny is a lot of times, if you watch, like on Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see the critics, what their percentage is, and then you'll see like the public's, and they're always off. But sometimes I think people listen to critics when they shouldn't. They should go check something out for themselves.
Yeah, it's like don't judge a book by its cover is how I look at it.
All right, so the next one is Fantasia 2000, this was just basically an update of Fantasia.
Right.
But I liked it. I thought it was really good. There's a part in it that I remember that just made me laugh, and I don't think a lot of people caught on to it. So they did the song Pomp and Circumstance. You know what that is, right?
Yes.
Right. Well, of course, Macho Man Randy Savage. That's also the graduation, your graduation song. But they did it to Noah's Ark. All right. So basically what it was they had Noah's Ark, and they had Donald and Daisy were playing Noah and his wife. Right. And all the animals are coming on. And then they show off to the side, they show a dragon, they show a unicorn, and all these mythological animals laughing at the other animals. So basically saying they didn't believe the flood was coming, and that's what happened to those animals.
Of course, that would be your favorite part.
It just made me laugh. I thought it was hilarious because they're laughing at the other animals for getting on the boat. All right. So the next one after that was Treasure Planet, which was basically a remake of Treasure Island, just putting it into space. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good remake. I mean, as in putting something into space. They still use the same characters, and obviously it was animated. It wasn't live action, which the live action one is still a classic, and I'd love to watch it. It's really good. And like I think who was it? I think it was. I don't remember who it was. It was either Al or VP who was telling me the guy that played John Silver, I think it was VP, was the one who came up with a lot of the pirate lingo we use today when we think of pirates.
Wow.
Yeah. So, all right. So the next one, which we're at number 2, and this one I agree with. The Emperor's New Groove.
Yes.
The Emperor's New Groove was hilarious.
Oh, my lands.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
yeah, because we watched that here a while back when we were still in Idaho. Because I remember you telling me to watch it, and I couldn't sit still for laughing.
Yeah, I mean, you put David Spade, John Goodman, and Patrick Warburton. They're just hilarious.
Right.
Patrick Warburton and David Spade together, they're just...
Imagine if they would have added Adam Sandler and Kevin James to that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and I don't know if John Goodman, if this was the first... I think it was. It was the first time he voiced for a Disney movie. Mm-hmm. Because the next one would have been Monsters, Inc.
Okay,
as Solly. All right. And then number 1, I'm sure you can guess what number 1 is.
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch, yes.
That movie was a huge, huge hit.
Oh, yes. Yes. I loved Lilo and Stitch. I loved what they did at the park with Lilo and Stitch, or with Stitch, where people came in and Stitch had toilet papered the castle one time. And then they had that thing where they had him where he was like showing up in all these other Disney movies and ruining them. Yeah. And what they did with him, it was like they made him, he's the bad boy character.
Right. It makes me want to watch it again.
Yeah, yeah. I always love it where she thinks he's a puppy. Is what
Right.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's
and
go ahead.
especially with it having to compete with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. I mean, that show did so well.
Right. All
I
right.
mean, the kids really took off, especially kids really took off with that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the art. Basically, I'm going to tell you flat out, I messed mine up. So
mine don't look okay. Here's what's bad about doing something like when you draw with just regular pencil and you don't color.
Right.
It's hard to take pictures of that stuff because where you actually have pressed hard with your lead,
right,
your lighting makes it in a picture look white.
Right.
I hate that, but okay.
Well, I did mine with marker and then
Again,
realized
cool.
So, and then realized due to the fact that I'm partially colorblind, that and when I thought something was supposed to be lighter, it was actually darker. That had nothing to do with colorblind. That was after I already started and realized this isn't the way I want it to look. So let me pull it up. All right.
There it is.
Christina's. Yes. That looks awesome.
Yes, that dog looks like he is a troublemaker. that you know, from the Bolt movie, that he just blames everything on that cat.
And look, she did the paws. She didn't try to hide them.
Oh, I thought she tried to draw a piano down there. Oh no, I'm just kidding.
I think they look really good. I think it looks really good. I think this is one of her best.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
that
I really
dog
like
is that picture. It's telling so many stories in that picture. He's ornery.
Why'd she draw it crooked though? That's why I want to ask.
Well, hers is delayed a little bit from your. Why did you draw it crooked, Christina?
What?
Why did you draw your picture crooked? Oh, she was watching politics on the news, and it turned out that way. No,
I think it's the way I took the picture.
She said she thinks it's the way she took the picture.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. And this is Zeb. Oops. There's my bad one. Okay.
I don't know why I did it crooked. I don't know.
Okay, so my day off on Sunday, I was going to draw and I forgot. Like I totally spaced it. So I drew this guy in like an hour and 45 minutes or something last night.
Is Zeb from Home
on the Range? Yes, he's the Billy Goat with many personalities, and he's usually mad or angry.
If I've seen that movie, I think I've only seen it once.
And I wanted to color it, but I didn't have enough time.
Well, I think it looks good.
Yeah. But he was frustrating. His teeth made me mad. His hooves made me. I looked at Christine at one point. I said, I'm about to rip this drawing. She said, don't do that again. And his hooves, even, you know, in the picture, like here, they're so pointy, but that's how they are.
Right.
I don't know why they were giving me fits. Oh, I know why it was. Because I overscaled it. To where and his feet were about to come off the page. And I'm like, why don't I have paper room? So I kind of had to like scale it down a little bit, his leg. So,
okay.
But anyway, she's like, just do what I do and just don't draw it. Like, draw it off. Like, just, I can't remember how she worded it, but in other words, like, just make it look like his hooves are off the page.
Right.
So I'm not doing that.
All right.
But yes, he's awesome. His beard just gets me. His beard. It reminds me of like a yard gnome.
Right.
His beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was cool. I was going to do one of the, what's the cowboy's name? The one Rico.
Like I said,
what's the redheaded
I only seen
one?
It once, and it was a long time ago.
And then there's the redheaded cowboy that I was going to draw. And I'm like, that's going to take me too much time because I totally spaced it.
Right.
On Sunday. But, yeah, Zeb.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the next one, which is mine, and we already seen a preview of it. So yeah, so this was supposed to be lighter in through here,
I would never even known had you not said.
and then I thought this was gray, and it's green.
All on the top of his nose, yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, because gray and green are kind of like the same color for people that are colorblind.
so I tried to lighten him up because I had a regular brown, which I did for the ears and around the eyes.
Yeah.
And then I had what was called a Sierra, which I thought it looked, by looking at it, the colors on the actual marker, it looked really lighter than what the brown did. And then it turned out it really wasn't that. I mean, it was lighter, but not as much as I thought. So I went ahead and used it in around the mouth. And then, what I did for the rest of him, I just took an orange and then went over the top of the orange with the Sierra.
Okay, for like, yeah, I see. Now that I really look into it,
yeah,
you can see it there. It almost looks like a painting, Chris.
Yeah.
It really does. It almost looks like a painting. His eyes are like really setting it off, though.
Yeah.
Like that. What is that? Like a neon yellow almost.
I don't know. It was yellow.
But that's actually the main reason why I didn't color Zeb. I do believe now that we're talking about it, because I looked at Christina like, I don't even think I have the colors to color Zeb. Like I had a gray, but he was like different shades of gray almost.
Right.
And I just kept looking at him like, I don't even have these colors.
So, if nobody knows, this is what's his name? Is it Kyoto?
Yeah.
It's not Kyoto. It's Kainu, isn't it?
It's foreign.
I have to watch Brother Bear. I love Brother Bear. I haven't seen it in a while. I think it's Kainu.
He's cousins to
the little bear that he takes
Smokey
care of.
Bear.
No, he isn't, because you haven't seen the movie, have you?
No.
All right. Well, he was a human that was turned into a bear.
Oh.
So, but yeah, and a lot of people believe that Brave was kind of a copy of this movie.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So I think it's Kainu. The little cub he takes care of, that he finds when he turns into a bear. His name's Coda. But
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. So
we have Disney Plus, I think, still.
Yeah.
And on my days off work, when we're not working back on Saturday, which this Saturday I'm off, we should make watch one on Saturday, one on Sunday, like a Disney movie.
Right.
Because I really need to catch up. I'll never be on your or Gonzo or Al's level of Disney. But I do need to watch a lot more
Rachel.
of it. It's made me become more interested in Disney, doing all this stuff and watching you guys as well. But
right.
It really made me sit and realize how big Disney really is. It's crazy to me. Right. It's like, it's almost unbelievable in my mind.
Oh yeah. So, and
you guys know Disney like I know wrestling. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think Joey knows. He's kind of like Joey's like wrestling and Disney. So.
Oh wow, Joey's man, he's a rare piece of candy. I was sitting here, my stepdad and my mom were over the other night for dinner, and I was telling him about Joey. Like I've said, man, you could just say like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, and he could tell you every match, where it happened at, what time, how many moves there was, and I'm like, how does he remember that?
Well, he could tell you what match took him, what place, and what pay-per-view, what year, and everything like that.
I know that's crazy. But, I mean, I'm good with wrestling, but not like that.
I think I told you, if you watch the 2014 SummerSlam,
yeah,
you can see Joey in the second row.
Yeah,
the whole entire match.
Hey, when they had WrestleMania 7 at the Hoosier Dome,
right,
back in the day here in Indiana, my grandfather and my dad and my uncle and them, they took us, and we were actually in the newspaper clipping
Yeah, that's
You can
Darren
see
Yanga.
us. You can see us in the newspaper clipping when Ultimate Warrior's holding up the Intercontinental and the heavyweight title.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to get back to Disney, but since you brought up wrestling, did you hear the news today?
I didn't hear you. I was plugging my headset back in. I accidentally unplugged it. What'd you say?
I want to get back to Disney, but since you brought up wrestling, did you hear anything that had to do with Vince McMahon today?
I haven't, not yet today, but I know
He sold
that
the XFL.
Yes, Dwayne Johnson and this company called Bluebird is buying it for $15 million through bankruptcy court.
Right.
And I said, man, that's cool because I really like the XFL this round. They were really on top of their stuff.
Right.
And it just was so sad for the pandemic to happen and Vince have to get rid of it because he couldn't afford all those contracts with just starting out with it because he was not taking his money out of the wrestling account to apply it to the XFL. He wasn't going to do that. But how well will Dwayne Johnson do with it? I don't know, but we'll see. Right. I know The Rock has a passion for football. Right. Of course, he played for the University of Miami.
Right. And he also played in the Canadian Football League, too.
Right. And as big of a star as Dwayne Johnson is, you know, I'm not saying the man is Bill Gates rich or what's that man from who is it? The richest man in the world now that they claim, the Amazon guy, I think it is. But anyway, but he has money, he has passion, and I was talking to Christina about that. I said that's why people like him join in with other companies so they can afford it. And I think she had seen something on the news where I think his ex-wife has something in on it too.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So the number one ranked movie out of the post-Renaissance movie was Lilo and Stitch. So I have things you didn't know about Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, cool.
So recently, The Hollywood Reporter announced that a live-action Lilo and Stitch film is in the works 16 years after the original.
Wow. Nice.
In anticipation of Disney's live-action remake of the classic film, here are 17 surprising things about the Lilo and Stitch. Okay, Davy Chase was the voice of Lilo. You might know the actress better as the little girl in The Ring, or perhaps as the voice of Chihiro in the English version of Spirited Away. Fun fact, both the Ring and Lilo and Stitch were released the same year. I don't know. I've never seen The Ring. Have you?
No.
Okay. All right. The estimated budget for the film was $80 million.
Wow.
It is estimated that Disney spent nearly $80 million creating the animated film, which has since gone to earn an estimated $273,144,151 worldwide. All right. The voice of Stitch was provided by the film's director, which this guy, he ended up going to DreamWorks not too long after they made this. And this guy, I love him as an animator. All right. The multi-talented Chris Sanders wrote the script for Lilo and Stitch and directed production and even lent his voice to the character in the film.
Nice.
But the thing was he had a unique way of drawing. Obviously, you can tell by looking at the characters.
Right.
And because he drew that way, all the animators, they all had to learn how to draw the way he did.
It's crazy how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. The story was originally set in rural Kansas. Initially, the writers wanted the film to take place in rural Kansas, where Stitch would be isolated from wreaking havoc on the things around him. Later, the setting was changed to Hawaii's Kauai Island. The very first pitch about an alien in a forest somewhere and all his interactions was with the woodland creatures who wanted nothing to do with him.
So they went from the yellow brick road to palm trees.
The writers incorporated the idea of Ohana after a trip to Kauai. According to co-writer and co-director Dean Dubois, A tour guide explained the idea of ohana to a team and how the concept was an important part of the island lifestyle. It was always going to be about family and the destructive force coming into frail, crumbling family and just accelerating its destruction. But then being affected enough by the idea of a family that he could transform in the end. But it wasn't until he went to Hawaii that we were exposed to the idea of ohana, and that's something that the Hawaiian people carry around with them. It's alive and present, and it's this all-embodying philosophy that if you live several islands away, you're as much my brother and sister as my immediate brother and sister.
So a little connection there.
Oh, yeah. Some of the actors helped rewrite the dialogue. The voice actor for Nani and David, Tia Carrera, and Jason Scott Lee helped rewrite the Hawaiian characters' dialogue to include Hawaiian slang. How's that? Tia Carrera. I know that name. Was she the one in was it Wayne's World 2?
Tia Carrera, was she in Wayne's World 2?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I thought. After the 9/11 attacks, one
She's in
scene
the
was
first one,
completely
9/11.
redone. The scene with Stitch and Jumba fighting a spaceship through Kauai to escape capture was completely redone after 9/11 attacks. Originally, the scene shows the duo in a Boeing plane flying through the city's center. Pudge the fish was almost killed off. Remember the cute fish that Lilo feeds at the beginning of the movie? Well, He was almost killed off in a scene where Lilo introduced him to Stitch. So you know what that means. Lilo and Nani have a last name. All right. According to Stitch, dog's license at the shelter, Lilo and Nani's last name is Pelikai. Their last name is dedicated to Pele, the goddess of fire and volcano in Hawaii, and Kai, which means seawater in Hawaiian.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
CIA agent Cobra Bubbles was inspired by a Pulp Fiction character. Cobra Bubbles was voiced by actor Ving Rhames, who played...
You imagine a CIA agent coming to your house to investigate you or investigate something and their last name be Bubbles. How serious would you take them?
Cobra Bubbles.
Yeah. How serious would you take them, for real?
Right. So Cobra Bubbles was voiced by the actor Ving Rhames, who played the gangster Marcellus Wallace in the cult classic Pulp Fiction. Fans of the film noticed that Rhames' character in Lilo and Stitch was modeled after Wallace in the film. There are a lot of hidden Mickeys in the film. Throughout Lilo and Stitch, fans noticed many subtle references to Mickey on YouTube. One fan found as many as 30 instances where Mickey appeared.
Wow. I would have had no clue. I never.
Right. Both directors make cameos in the film. Did you spot Sanders and Du Bois running away from Stitch on the beach? Well, here it is. So they show one, but I don't see the other one. All right. Lilo and Stitch was first created in 1985.
Wow. Daggone.
Sanders first created Lilo and Stitch for a children's book in 1985, according to the Story Room, The Making of Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch was nominated for an Oscar. Although they lost the Academy Award to Spirited Away, the film was nominated for Best Animated Film. Funnily enough, Davy Chase was the lead voice on both films. There's a nod to Mulan in the film. Perhaps Saunders and Dubois both worked on Mulan. There are several nods to the film in Lilo and Stitch, including a poster in Nani's room.
When you read these facts, it makes you want to go back and watch the movie and look for them.
Dumbo also makes an appearance. Perhaps as a nod to the watercolor background, Dumbo makes an appearance in the film as a stuffed animal in Lilo's room.
I wonder if that's what inspired the big ears.
I don't know.
What's Dumbo?
The license plate of a fire truck in the film has a hitting meaning. Listed on the license of a fire truck in the film is A113, refers to a classic number at the California Institute of Art where many master animators at Disney and Pixar learn their craft. Yeah, you'll find the same number in a lot of the Pixar movies too.
That's a really good one. Yep. Now that you've read it, to look for in the movies.
Yeah. But that's it. So I think we'll show them just one more time. Just real quick.
So do you think it costs more to make an animated movie than it does like just a regular movie?
Okay.
Because of all the technology.
Wait. Are you talking about... Yeah, I think it does. Animation costs a lot.
Right.
Yes. So, but then again, that depends on who you're getting to act.
Yeah. Well, true. But, yeah.
So I'll bring them up one last time. All right, so here's my failed attempt at Kenai. That's what it is. Kenai from Brother Bear.
Kenai.
All right. Then we have Darren Zeb from Home on the Range.
That looks like me when I'm mad at Call of Duty.
And then we have Bolt. I can't remember the cat's name. Does Christina remember the cat's name?
You remember the cat's name on Bolt? Meow.
I don't think her name was Meow.
Let's give her a name, Grace.
I don't think that's it either.
Bolton Grace.
So, but you guys did a good job. You outdid me. So.
No, you cracked. Mittens.
Mittens. That's right. Name. Yes, that is right. But
see, I was close. Grace, Mittens. You know, it's kind of close.
Right. All right. So I know it was short. If we had more art pieces, if you're watching this later on, send something in.
Yeah, Gonzo. Ow.
No. I probably need to get a hold of Heaven. I know Heaven sometimes does it, but she might not have had very much time. But other than that, so next week is the revival era.
We're taking a break because you have.
Yeah. Okay. So next week isn't the revival era. I have to go to Courier's Academy. So for 4 days. So, and unfortunately, because this is something where I have to be here to pull up the pictures. I don't know if I could do it on my phone. I don't think I can. I don't think that's on there for that.
I don't think so. I have a Galaxy S10, and even with it being as new phone as I do,
right?
For whatever reason, like when I'm streaming with you, I can't pull up the internet because then it kicks me off the stream for whatever daggone reason.
Right.
Unless I'm just doing something wrong that I don't know about. Of course, that could be too.
So, but
it is the revival era, 2010 to present.
Yes, let's go ahead. I'll read off the movies for that. So the revival era, and there's some missing on here because obviously this was created before is Big Hero 6, Frozen, Princess and the Frog, which I wonder if that makes Princess and the Frog the last traditional animation they did.
True that.
Tangled. No, Winnie the Pooh may have been.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh.
Depending on what years those two came out. And then Wreck-It Ralph. So not only that, you would also have Frozen 2, Moana, and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Anything 2010 till right now.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you look at the Disney eras, they're approximately 10 years in the era.
Yeah.
I wonder
I think it was some eras that went a little longer.
Start a new era.
Hear me? I think some eras went a little longer.
So 2021 should be about starting a new era, I would think.
I don't know. The Disney Renaissance went from 89 to 99.
That's 10 years.
Well, but then was 2000 to 2009. There's a year missing.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. 1970 to 1988. That's 18 years. For
Yeah.
the Bronze Age. 1950 to 1959. That's only 9 years.
Okay, so let's say anywhere between 9 and
then
18.
The war era was 43 to 49.
Yeah, that was only 6 years.
Yeah. And then the golden era was from 1937 to 1942. So I guess it just depends on, I guess, if something changes with the way they're created or something like that. Maybe that's what makes an error. Or I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe their next era will be the COVID-19 era.
No.
All their cartoons and characters will be wearing masks.
So we won't be here next week, but we will be here the next. And so that's the revival era. And that's what we'll be drawing for. And then after that, we're going to move into the Pixar movies. Sound good?
Yep. And then Marvel. And then the Muppet Babies. And then Lord only knows.
I don't think it would be the Muppet Babies. It would just be the Muppets. And you can throw the Muppet Babies in there.
Well, let's draw them as a baby. Make them a baby. But yeah, no, Disney needs to really look into that. And their next era needs to be called the COVID-19, and their characters need to wear.
How could it be an error?
Masks.
COVID-19 isn't going to last that long.
Oh, it's going to be around a lifetime.
No, it isn't. All right.
Hey, I seen something. Not now because he's on TV, Dave Bautista. But I thought there was it's probably not even related to Disney. But I think he tried out for another part for another like some kind of animation movie. I thought I'd seen on Twitter.
He might have. So, all right. So that's gonna end it.
Because Guardian of the Galaxies.
Yeah.
Isn't Guardian of the Galaxies part of Marvel?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to research that. Maybe it's a new Marvel movie or it was some kind of cartoon. I've seen it, I think, on it. But anyway, the revival era, 2 weeks. Because Chris has Academy to go to.
Yeah. So as for that, if you want to send in, please send something in.
Yes.
Let me show you where to send it.
Even if it's just a finger painting that says Disney art.
Right. Down below is the email address you send it to. Have it in. You're actually getting 2 weeks. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after by 4 o'clock on Tuesday. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know what my schedule is going to look like. So I really don't want to push this back an hour either. So I guess we could if we had to.
What, like, you mean an hour later?
Yeah, like at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I hope not. But of course, like you said, you don't know what your schedule is going to be.
Right.
It's still daylight at 8 o'clock.
But
no, I was just like thinking, don't push it up any earlier because shoot, by the time we're working them 10 hours, by the time I get home and eat dinner, it's usually after 6.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's going to do it. Tomorrow is Hanging with the Family. We're going to be playing, and I know it's going to be hard to see, Disney Pictopia over on Hanging with the Family. And Gonzo's going to be with us. Do you want to come on and play too?
Sure.
All right. Darren's going to be with us. So Gonzo and Darren be on there with me, Margie, and Heaven.
This is going to be a crew.
And we're going to play Disney Pictopia. So.
Funny thing about Gonzo, when we were playing Call of Duty the other day, he dies. We try to buy him back in. He's like, don't buy me in yet.
That's because.
And then so I buy in his, what was it, his cousin?
Well, let's not talk about this right now. All right.
It's Disney related.
No, it isn't. All right.
It was just funny to
anyhow, 2 weeks. the revival, and we will get back. So,
and don't draw the old WWE tag team, the revival, either.
Thank you. Thank you all. So I hope to see you in 2 weeks. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Peace.